Welcome to our channel, Lightling Vision. My name is Natalie and I'm with an extraordinary person who has written several books and has devoted her life to the mankind. Mother has accepted to do a series of videos to answer our many questions. Let me introduce you to Mother. Welcome.
Hello.
And thank you so much for agreeing to do these videos. So today I would really like to ask you about the environment. As you all know, like everybody's worried about the climate change and everything. So would you please let us know what you think about who's responsible and like if there's any chance we can save our planet?
Well, before I can talk about saving or not saving the planet, I think the best thing is to go deeper into the question whilst seeking the deeper reason, the deeper meaning behind these, the facts. Because if we observe the facts, the first thing we can state, we can see, discover, is the attitude of man towards nature, towards even his fellow man, you might say, towards everything that surrounds him in life on this planet, has profoundly changed the last 200 or 300 years. That it has begun with the development of the human intellect, the intellectual, scientific faculties of man. That has begun already in the 16th century, even before, with the Renaissance. Man discovered that he could lay his eyes on nature and, by the means of his intellect, discover the functioning of many natural phenomena around him, which has led, 400 years later, at the beginning of the 20th century, famous scientific, to say, well, we have reached the point, he said, it was 1900, we have reached the point in which we might say in the scientific domain that we know about all that's essential to know about the earth and the functioning of the earth. For him, the functioning of nature, of the earth, of the natural phenomena was basically known, discovered. He did not expect real great discoveries after what already had been done by 1900. For him, the affair was closed. Well, if you hear that now, 120 years later, you might laugh, because it was only the beginning. And many things have been discovered, and many things are still being discovered today. So we might say the scientific field, when man lays his eyes on outer natural phenomena, it seems without end. Each day new things are discovered, the way things function, it ever changes. It broadens, it widens. But what you see at the same time developing near this scientific research is that man himself and the way he behaves on earth has changed. When you look back up until, I would say, 200 or 300 years ago, in spite of the beginning of scientific research, man had still a kind of respect towards the earth, the natural phenomena, I would even say the creator. For man, until 200 years ago, God existed, an intelligence existed that was for man leading or had given birth to this universe and was leading something in life, and man tried consciously or unconsciously to submit to that, to adapt, to respect that. What you see is with the ongoing development of the intellect that man becomes more and more independent. At least that's how he feels himself. He thinks that he's completely free to do as he wishes, that the earth is there to serve him and he's not there to respect her, and even less to serve her. He thinks that everything has been given to him to become more and more wealthy, rich, powerful. Somehow there is no... Suddenly, with the scientific, the power of science, with the power also of money, there is no stop anymore to human behavior in a sense that is anti-divine, I would almost say, that goes against a natural form of harmony on earth. So you see, I'm not against science, of course, but unfortunately, with with coming up of knowledge, man uses that knowledge or that power to put the earth more and more in his service and to disrupt the natural harmony that had reigned on earth for such a long time. I think that if we talk about environmental problems, we are basically not so much talking about outer things that do not work, but about an inner vision of man, a philosophy of mankind that is wrong, that shows that man has something profoundly misunderstood. So when you talk to me about the environment, I would say the earth shows us that we make errors in our understanding of things. I do not think personally that the earth will, in an absolute sense, be the victim on the long run of our misbehavior. I think we are putting ourselves at stake in a position where we can be swept away in one way or another of this earth. Because the earth has existed already for millions of years, and I do not think that that man will be given, and then I'm definitely referring to a higher power that you can call a creator. I do not think that creator, in all his wisdom and intelligence, will allow us to go behind a certain point. That means that unless we accept on earth to deepen our vision, to change our point of view, those environmental problems will grow and might become a real problem for us, to bring us to the point where we have to change our vision. For me, the environmental question is not a problem for the earth. It's a problem for man. It's a problem for man if man wants to go on living in short terms on this earth. And as I believe in reincarnation, even if we are swept away, well, one day normally we come back. The earth will re-establish her own harmony, and we will have learned from what went wrong. And from that point of view, we are not the first experience of mankind on earth that ends up with troubles. There are many philosophical messages or there are many sages in the past that have talked about civilizations that have gone lost, like Atlantis or even Lemuria. You can believe in that or not. Even if you don't believe in it, we are exactly at the same point nowadays. That's to say, we are abusing of knowledge, of power, for our own egoistical consciousness. In fact, from a higher point of view, you might say we are ignorant. We think we know, and there are many things in nature, in the natural phenomena that we have come to know. But there's something that lacks us, and that's consciousness. A consciousness of the harmony that should reign between all the creatures on Earth, because we have a codependency, a form of dependence. We are all linked to each other, and we need each other. We are dependent on each other. And if we do not respect that, then we will pay the price. It is not the Earth that will pay the price. We will pay it. Now comes the question, what can we do? And, well, that's what I will try to answer in the next session. Because many people are quite... They feel as if they have no power. They feel as if they are just alone fighting against more powerful forces or phenomena on this earth. And they even might say, well, what's the trouble? Why should I give myself all this trouble to change something in my behavior? Because my neighbor and America, the Americans don't do it, my neighbor doesn't do it, even my own children don't do it, so why should I do it? Why should I change something in my vision or in my behavior? There are reasons why you better do that, and that's what I will try to explain. But then you have to, paradoxically, see yourself as linked to a whole and at the same time responsible for yourself. I think the first thing that we can learn of this environmental question is to take the responsibility for ourselves. We cannot go on saying, yes, well, that's the problem of the community, this is the problem of our country, this is the problem of those who govern on a high level in Europe or in America or in China or in Russia. That's not a problem. The difficulty is to learn to take the responsibility for yourself whilst understanding that from an outer point of view, in short term, perhaps you cannot change much. And I will explain why this situation exists and what you still can do and should do for certain reasons.
Thank you, Mother. This was part 1 of Mother's answer on how can we save our planet or how can we save ourselves. Mm-hmm. So please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss part 2 of Mother's answer. And write your comments. We will be happy to read you. So we'll see you at the next one.
Au-dessus de toutes les vagues, amène-moi un jour, pourrais-je toute la vie, la trame d'une même histoire, toute la vie.